Hello and welcome. You're watching the Saturday edition of This Is Exclusive. So what's really lined up for you tonight on the Saturday edition? First, we'll take you through the details of a report that has been prepared by the Jammu and Kashmir administration with regards to what's really happening. There have been back-to-back terror attacks, ladies and gentlemen, and it is a cause of concern. We'll take you through the details that are emerging from that detailed report that has been prepared and has been submitted to the Ministry of Home Affairs. That's our top focus as we take you through some of the details of the report and also what's the assessment that has been made by the government. That's our top focus on This Is Exclusive. India makes their first entry into the finals at Paris Olympics. Manu Bhaker finishes third in the 10-meter air pistol women's qualification to reach finals.
You are giving more scope to your party, your government, and you only me on behalf of opposition, only I am there, and you stop my mic.
Mamata lands in huge controversy after she claims her mic was turned off during Niti Aayog meet. Government meanwhile counters Mamata's claims hold no water and that she must speak the truth. Pakistan learns no lessons from the past as they continue to push terror in the valley. Anti-terror ops underway in Kupwara. One soldier killed in action, one terrorist neutralized. Key BJP meeting underway in the national capital. Chief Ministers of India ruled states to present a report card to Prime Minister ahead of assembly elections. Ladies and gentlemen, in the last few weeks, there have been back-to-back terror attacks that have taken place in the Jammu region. Now, we'll tell you why it's a cause of concern and why are districts like Poonch, Rajouri, Doda and Kathua the biggest concern and the assessment that has been done by the centre. So we'll give you the breaking news really coming in at this with regards to the report that has been prepared. But before that, let's take you through the details that are emerging in terms of the attacks that have taken place and what is it that the government is really doing on the ground to counter this. There have been multiple meetings that have taken place here at the centre to try and tackle the situation because it appears that Pakistan is continuing with its desperate tactics, particularly launch pads, which is just across the Jammu region, which appears to be brimming with terrorists trained by the Pakistani army. Let's take you through this detailed report and then we'll also take you through the details emerging from the report that has been prepared and submitted to the Ministry of Home Affairs.
Jammu and Kashmir's Kupwara woke up to the firing shots and gunfight today as Pakistani terrorists tried to infiltrate and unleash terror on the Indian soil. The Indian armed forces successfully foiled Pak's infiltration bid and gunned down one Pak terrorist. But in return, the Indian army also paid the price. One army Jawan died in the line of duty and 5 others sustained injuries in the encounter. After eliminating the terrorist, the security forces also recovered bullets from the slain terrorist that can penetrate through bulletproof jackets. The anti-terror operations are underway in and around North Kashmir's Kupwara. Forces continue to hunt for the 3 Pak terrorists who are waiting for an opportunity to unleash terror. Massive search operations have been launched in Riyasi district after suspected movement was detected by the locals. The Jammu and Kashmir police, along with CRPF, have launched joint operations in Riyasi.
security agency received infiltration inputs from various intelligence-based organizations that terrorists in the launching pads in the Pakistan are planning to carry attacks and infiltration in North Kashmir's Kupwara sector. After that, multiple ambushes were laid by the forces in the dense forests in the North Kashmir's Kupwara. So far, if we'll talk about the ongoing operation, 5 Indian Army Jawans injured in the attack, including Major rank officer, and unfortunately that the one Indian Army Jawan has lost their life while fighting the terrorists in North Kashmir's Kupwara sector. Also, Pakistan soldiers have been neutralized by our forces in an action in North Kashmir's Kupwara sector. Senior officials of the Jammu and Kashmir Police and Indian Army are monitoring the operation very closely, and also sniffer dogs and drone surveillance are being done in the dense forests in the North Kashmir's. Rawat Maharaj from North Kashmir's Kupwara sector.
Let us now take you through the security assessment that has been done, the situation on the ground. And what are the changes that are essentially being made? What you see behind me is the map of Jammu and Kashmir. And why am I showing you this? That's because the government has essentially done a reassessment of the current situation. What's the situation like in Jammu in particular? Let's now take you through the categories that have been divided. Now, there is a red zone. Now, what does that red zone? Let me just quickly focus on the red zone. Poonch, Rajouri, Kathua and Doda. Now, the reason why it has been categorized as red zone. Let's start with Poonch. Now, Poonch, that's the reason why there have been 3 terror attacks. 10 soldiers have been killed in action in the last 3 years. 15 to 20 terrorists of Lashkar are active in this particular region of Poonch. So what you see on the map designated as red zone. Let's move to the other. Rajouri is the other district which has been categorized as the red zone. That's because, again, 5 terror attacks at this place, 15 soldiers who have been killed in action in the last 2 years, and 15 to 20 Lashkar activists who are still active in this very district. Let's move to Doda. The reason why there have been 4 terror attacks, about 4 soldiers who have been killed in action, and Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists who are active in this region is about 9 to 10 of them. And that's the reason why this also comes under the red zone. Let's move to Kathua, where there have been 2 terror attacks and about 6 soldiers who have been killed in action. And the other big concern, that is about 5 to 7 Jaish who are still active in this very region. So that's the region which has been designated as the red zone. Let's move to the yellow zone. The yellow zone where the threat levels are much lower. Riyasi, Udhampur, Samba and Kishwa. Now in Riyasi, what's it in terms of why it has been designated in the yellow zone? That's because only 1 terror attack has taken place. And just to remind our viewers, this was where about 9 pilgrims, they were killed in that attack. And the reason why it was very surprising, because it hasn't happened for a very, very long time that Riyasi was actually attacked, but still comes under the yellow zone. Let's take you through Udhampur. In Udhampur, there have been 2 terror attacks that have taken place. But again, this is again closer to the international border, and that is the reason why, I beg your pardon, it's in Samba, which is closer to the international border. That is the reason why it is considered to be a sensitive area. Kishwa. Now that's where 3 local terrorists, which also includes one of the longest surviving terrorists still suspected to be present there, that too of the Hizbul Mujahideen. That's the reason why it's considered to be in the yellow zone. Let's move to the other, the green zones, the relatively safer zones currently in Jammu. It is in Jammu and Ramban, where there have been no terror incident that has taken place. Jammu, and as far as Ramban is concerned, that too, remember, there is no terror attack that has taken place. So we've taken you through the assessment. Now, the other big breaking news coming in is we've got the details of the report that has been submitted to the Ministry of Home Affairs. What is it that the Ministry of Home Affairs have been told with regards to the current situation on the ground? Who are the ones who have been activated by the terrorists in terms of carrying out their entire activity? Let's take you through some of the details. Now, upper reaches of Jammu that has been used for the infiltration, smugglers that have been activated, old routes that have been taken by the terrorists. So all of that basically working towards a situation where we are now given to understand that about 20 to 30 such, I'm told about 12 to 13 of them have been activated. Now, let's just take you through who are they. Part of the Jaish-e-Mohammed module that was reactivated. Remember, this is the same very module that was completely neutralized before 2012, 2013. So what's really happened? What has really changed on the ground? Let's also go across to my colleague Gursimran, who is joining us on this broadcast. Gursimran, in this particular report that has been submitted to the Ministry of Home Affairs, they make a mention of the old routes in Jammu that have been used for the infiltration. Secondly, they talk about the smugglers that have been used by the terrorists. Piece it together for our viewers, help them understand why exactly this is becoming a big cause of concern.
Yes, Shawan, Jaish-e-Mohammed is now operating on 3-point agenda. That is their modus operandi. First is the old routes, the routes that have been traditionally used by the Jaish-e-Mohammed or Lashkar-e-Toiba in the past, in 90s to 2003, 2005. Since 2013, they have been using these routes to infiltrate into the Indian territory and then to head towards the Chenab Valley, that is towards the Doda-Kishtwar Raman from the Kathua. First is the old route. Second is the old fronts that are being activated. Those old fronts who have no mention in the police records are being used by the Jaish-e-Mohammed. They are reactivating those radicalized cadres that were working for them on their behest but were never on the record of the police. They were radicalized in the in the late 90s or the early 2000s, and they extended every possible help to these terror groups. Third is the help of the bovine smugglers. These are the 3 points. The bovine smugglers are those who take the bovines from the upper reaches to lower reaches when there is a change of weather, that is during winters and summers. They move along with their shepherds through the old routes of and they know that which route is active and which route has closed. So they are well aware of the routes, and that's why the Pakistani terrorists are taking the help of the bovine smugglers, because they know for the money they can go to any extent, and that is what has happened. We are getting to know that in days to come, the security agencies are working on this module, and there will be some arrest of the bovine smugglers as well, that how they have helped the terror groups in reactivating their cadres, especially Jaish-e-Mohammed, that was in dire need of the ground cadre, because since 2013 to 2017, Jaish was totally dormant, and last in 2017 only, it was the nephew of Maulana Masood Azhar that was killed in Pulwama,
Right.
and since then we have seen the re-rise of Jaish-e-Mohammed in Jammu and Kashmir. Yes, Shawan.
Well, thank you very much, Gursimran, for getting us the latest details as we continue tracking this story very closely, with the government essentially going on a full throttle to ensure that the situation comes under control. Now, shifting focus to Paris Olympics. Manu Bhaker secured a spot in the women's 10-meter air pistol final by finishing third with an impressive score of 580. Now, her performance is basically marked by precision and consistency. Ladies and gentlemen, with the Paris Olympics opening, there is also the other story that's really emerging from there. It's just not about the sportsmanship that we are going to witness, but the cause of concern is what's really happening in Paris. We have seen how services have been disrupted, and the fact that there have been concerns about security. What's really happening on the ground? Joining us is Lana from Paris to get us a quick sense of has the government been able to control the situation on the ground. What you see right now on your screens, these are images that we've got in our newsroom from Paris. Just these were moments before the inaugural session actually began. Lana, thank you very much for speaking to Republic TV. Give us a sense of what's really happening on the ground in Paris. Of course, there is a lot of enthusiasm that we see with the Olympics being hosted by France. But having said that, there is a huge cause of concern, particularly about the services that were disrupted yesterday. And of course, there is a security concern. What is it that the authorities have to say in terms of the preparations, and more importantly, have they been able to control the situation?
Like you said, on one end, we are very proud to have the Olympics in the whole city, but also there is a lot of problem Like just yesterday, there was a train track set on fire from Paris to Bordeaux. So there is a lot of insecurity coming with the Olympics, but we have policemen everywhere in the city. We have policemen from all around the world, Korea, a lot from Europe. So, like, the situation is in good hand, I think. But yes, there is a lot of insecurity in our streets, and we are afraid of. France have a background with terrorism attacks, so it's always scary to have big events like this in our city.
Well, there is absolutely no doubt about the fact that it is going to be a cause of concern for many, not just for the Parisian, but also people abroad, given the fact that we've seen the kind of scare that has emerged with services essentially being disrupted. Lana, as I understand, you're reporting for Republic TV right from the heart of Paris. I would also like to request you to perhaps show us around as to what's really happening there. And we've also got some voices from Paris, particularly, being worried about whether at all the government would be in a position right now to take control of this situation because of the instability that we see within the government in France.
So the TV shows you a lot of the bad points, but as you can see, when you are in the city, there is circulation, there is not a lot of people. Our lives are not changing, like the lifestyle normal, like you can see it. In Paris, it's pretty normal. It's just for the big event, like the ceremony, the introduction ceremony. This type of events are scary for us, but the other day, it's pretty normal in the city.
Well, thank you very much, Lana, for getting us that quick update from Paris, at least looking from the scenes that are behind right now. It does appear to be, the situation appears to be far more normal than what we had witnessed just yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue our coverage from Paris Olympics, we are also going to take you through those images coming in from Paris, particularly from the Indian contingent. All hopes would be on Manu Bhaker as the tournament begins tomorrow. That's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is Exclusive. We'll be back tomorrow on the Sunday edition with more news.